So it seems we have a bit of news coming our way, and it looks like Sega is deciding that it may potentially want to enter the Netflix market and start trading its games in a subscription service. Some are calling this a genius move, especially with all the games that they're making. Some may call this a negative move, but for me, I only see this as an opportunity to get it tagged into Xbox Game Pass. And with that, let's have the drop and let's get into it. Just up the entertainment value for you and produce even better content for you. Alright folks, so the first news we're going to start off with is of course the Sega one, because that is the big one. Sega is looking at launching its own Netflix-like subscription service for video games. Much like Ubisoft Plus, much like EA Play, we're thinking something and discussing something we cannot disclose right now. Now, in my opinion, they probably want to have something like that because everyone has something like this in their own little circle, so it's no surprise that Sega would want this, but do you honestly believe that this will not be tacked onto Xbox Game Pass in some way, shape, or form? It's almost inevitable. Ubisoft is, of course, not all the day one games, but there's a huge collection of games that are on there. You've got EA Play, which is also on there. This just seems like, especially with their relationship with Microsoft and how, their relationship has blossomed over the years. I mean, it wouldn't even surprise me if Microsoft eventually moved in with a really big bid to actually take Sega over and just acquire everything. At the moment, there's really been no need, considering how Sega has forthcomingly just put every game on there, and most of them appear day one on Game Pass. So that's kind of like a contractual thing, especially with Sega using the Azure servers to build a game, and I guess they probably worked out a sweet deal with that to get those games on. So there's a contractual obligation there, in my opinion. Well, there is. But this is really cool to see, and, well, some hate it, some like it. For me, this just means that if this does exist, I fully expect this to be integrated into Xbox Game Pass at some point, and that just means more games for those on Game Pass, and happy days. Now, whether day-and-date games will go on there as well is another matter. That's for another discussion. But at some point, those games will appear anyway, just like EA Play does after 6 months. So I think this is good news for Xbox fans. And if Sega wants to go down this route, I mean, it will be interesting to see how they do it, what their pricing is, and how many games they're going to have on there. Because I think Ubisoft Plus is way overpriced. EA Play, I barely use, but I use it occasionally. But I think the pricing isn't too bad. So I think if the price is right, they could succeed. But if it does, as I suspect, get integrated into Game Pass, happy days. Indiana Jones, my game of the year. It's phenomenal, people. You really should play it, even though people are trying to bash it down like there's no tomorrow. It seems more Indiana Jones games are on the way per known Film Insider. And this is music to my ears. I absolutely love this game. I'm still playing through it, and I will have my review out hopefully before the end of this year. Hopefully. I'm really trying. I've been really busy this Christmas period, but I know it's late, but I know you guys will watch it and, criticize me over my fanboying over Indiana Jones. But you've got this over here as well from Extas. Renowned film insider Daniel RPK confirms that more Indiana Jones games are on the way. We don't know if Machine Games will be behind it, but it is undoubtedly great news after the great game that is Indiana Jones and the Great Circle. And that doesn't even really do it justice. The game is a pure art of perfection. I absolutely love this game. But it's great to know that more Indiana Jones games are coming. I'm even thinking, I don't know where my actual Emperor of Doom game for Xbox actually went, so I'm going to go buy it. Let me know if you'd like me to stream it. I mean, it's a nostalgia trip for sure. I don't even know if it's backwards compatible, but if it is, maybe it's something we could look into. Let me know in the comment section below. So, we've got here the largest technical leap, which is what Sarah Bond said. And Jess says here, some sources reached out and said, my Xbox hardware future predictions article here is pretty spot on. Basically the stuff that I've been saying for a whole year now. And no one cared to listen, no one cared to think. Because, I'm not really a somebody. But maybe one day I will be, and people will take notice when I say something. Xbox news for Korean say, just my personal speculation, Sarah Bond's largest technical leap seems to be the ability to implement the Xbox OS or Xbox system on PC hardware, which we've talked about quite a bit. If you've watched my previous video, you'll know that that's where Xbox, this is what they're trying to do and have been working on for some time with different specs from different manufacturers. So this is the stuff that I covered in my previous video, which I made a standalone video for because I thought it needed it. Because simply increasing the performance of the CPU, GPU, and RAM is not a technical leap. No, it's not. The technical leap is getting that Xbox OS working unilaterally on all platforms. So you're basically having the same experience everywhere. And with that, that's when the different revisions come in with the CPU, GPU, and RAM. Cool stuff. I'm looking forward to seeing what Microsoft has up its sleeve. I think it's great. Now to some bad news. EA reportedly rejected a Dead Space 4 proposal from series creator Glenn Schofield and other developers who worked on the original game. I mean, this is typical EA, to be fair. But it's a bit weird because Dead Space is such a beloved franchise. You'd expect it to, but maybe after Callisto Protocol, they saw that and said, nah, maybe not, and got scared with the genre. I'm not sure, but I think a Dead Space 4, it definitely has its following, and I think it would have done well. It's a shame that they said no. Maybe with enough lobbying, they might change their mind, or maybe EA might be prepared to sell the IP to someone else that can actually go ahead and do it. But I think this is a real shame, especially for those that really, really love the franchise. Are you excited for Assassin's Creed Shadows? And for me, I know a lot of people are going to be crying woke and this and that. I'm sorry. Are you excited for Assassin's Creed? Yes. And you can see the ratio there. 31% said yes, 68% said no. I'm a huge fan of the Japanese aesthetic, much like the post-apocalypse settings of games. So games like Ghost of Tsushima are a real win for me. And, you know, something like this that's based in Japan, feudal Japan, I'm really looking forward to it. Now, can someone please go and make a Tenchu so we can be happy? I know we're making other games along these lines, but some of those older games kind of need some love too. Sega is kind of creating mini arcades, and if you go to the CES 2025 between Jan 7 and the 10th, my arcade booth 15146 Central Hall in LA, you can actually pick up some of these mini arcade machines, which will have like Golden Axe, Outrun, Sonic, Shinobi, Streets of Rage. I'm actually interested in this. If you're going to LA and going to the CES, do reach out. I might be interested in picking one of these up. Or maybe I can scan that barcode and see if I can actually get it delivered myself. But you reach out anyway. And that's the news, folks. I hope you've enjoyed the video. I hope you found it informative. And if you are going to CES in January, check out those arcade little machines. They're pretty cool. I've always wanted one, and if the price is right, I'd definitely like to buy one. But overall, great stuff, and I'm looking forward to what's next, right? Don't forget to leave a like, subscribe, hit that bell to stay up to date with all content I release, and I will see you in the next video. As always, remain legend.